I mean, I really know how the world works. And it's not what you see on CNN, for sure. And there has been a decision by the most powerful corporations in the world to bring down the West and to bring down the middle class and to bring down the Renaissance and to bring down the idea of upwardly mobile individuals. And the argument is, oh, austerity's good to save the earth. But really, it's about political control and being able to dictate exactly how people live and what they do. Now, they say a picture can tell 1,000 words. Well, video can tell 1,000,000 words. And there have been over 10 million military-age men of the 12 million people that have come in the last 5 years, 6 years to Europe. And some numbers are even higher. Now, think about those numbers.
The fundamental assumptions of Western civilization are valid. How about that?
36 of the 50 signers of the Declaration of Independence, all of the generals in Washington's army, and everyone who participated in the Revolutionary War were basically Freemasons. And if you look at how the foundation of the country was put together, it's on Masonic principles.
I'm arguing that the ethic that drives our culture is predicated on the idea of God, and that you can't just take that idea away and expect the thing to remain intact mid-air without any foundational support.
Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second: surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? Well, Nikita Khrushchev has told his people he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better read than dead, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools. And our honored dead, who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis, didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not advance.
Mrs. Merkel said we can cope. That is leading to huge social problems in Germany. Communities feeling really unhappy about the change that's been brought over them. I don't think, even if Mrs. Merkel went down on her knees and said, I'm sorry to the German people, that frankly that's good enough. She has to pay the price for one of the biggest political mistakes we've seen in modern times. She is finished. It's just a question of when.
I think the European state is doomed, because I think it grew too fast. And it severed the connection between, there's not the proper hierarchy of identification. So, and people are saying, wait, Brussels? Who the hell are you guys? Why are you making decisions for us? And we don't agree with your decisions.
We cannot allow the natural passions and prejudices of other peoples to lead our country to destruction. They have used the war to add unlimited billions to a debt which was already the highest we have ever known. And they have used the war to justify the restriction of congressional power and the assumption of dictatorial procedures on the part of the President and his appointees.
I always believed that we should govern our own country. I always believed we should be free to reach out and make our own deals with our real friends in the world. And it's funny, our real friends in the world speak English, have common law, and stand by us in times of crisis.
You know, they have a word. It sort of became old-fashioned. It's called a nationalist. And I say, really, we're not supposed to use that word. You know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay? I'm a nationalist.
Nigel Farage joins us now. Nigel, thanks for coming on. So,
Thank you.
I think it's fair to say it's official. Nationalism is now global. It's obvious. There's no denying it with the president's speech. Why?
Well, you say nationalism. I actually call it nationism.
Okay.
We believe in the nation state. That is the unit we identify with. That is what we feel part of. That is what we cheer for in the Olympics. And if necessary, that is what we're prepared to fight for. It embodies our values, our families, our communities, our heritage, our identity, maybe even our tribe. And I think what happened in 2016 with Brexit and with Trump, and I believe is going to roll out through 2017, is a return to normality. What the globalists tried to do was to destroy the nation state. And what those two big events of 16 did was to re-establish the democratic nation state. And that is right and proper and normal.
No country has ever prospered that failed to put its own interests first. The nation state remains the true foundation for happiness and harmony.
That the dawn is breaking on an independent, united kingdom.
Winning the most unreal, surreal election we have ever seen. This candidacy starting on an escalator ride 1 year ago and going down against 16 Republican candidates. What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. Complicated.